Last video I made was super long. I want this one to be super short. All right? Here's what we're doing. This right here. This is the included chiller that comes with the Robobrew. All right, I said in the Robobrew review that I made 2 weeks ago, not only is it only about 25 feet, but these connections here, you're gonna have to provide your own tubing and your own hose clamps, which I have used, but I no longer do. I used to use a 25-foot copper coil, which took forever to chill. Especially in the summer when the groundwater was closer to 60 and 70 degrees. So this right here is okay. It's just as good as any other $50 25-foot stainless steel immersion chiller. So first thing we're going to do is take the JaDed Scylla, which instead of being 25 feet of coil, is 3 25-foot coils split off. If you saw my Hydra video, this thing is almost exactly the same as the JaDed Hydra. It has 2 coils here and then a third here. It's almost exactly the same as the JaDed Hydra. The difference is the diameter. Okay, so this can fit inside of the Robobrew and the Grainfather. But before I throw this in here to start it to sanitize, I want you to notice the fittings. Comes already fitted, everything is soldered on there for you. Okay, this one, when you put things here and you hose clamp it down, unless you have a really good connection, that's where the leak is. And if you leak into your wort, you're gonna ruin a batch of beer. All right? Don't need to worry about that here. Now you see I put a quick disconnect on here. That's because everything I use down here in the brewery is on a quick disconnect so that I can go in and out pretty quickly. So I'm gonna put this into the Robobrew and get the Robobrew back up to a rolling boil so that this is sanitized. Hey look, handles on the lid. Right now, the JaDed Scylla is in the Robobrew and I have my smoke up here with this attachment so that I can keep track of the temperature inside the Robobrew. So we're going to turn that on now. Alright, so as we're getting ready for this, I'll show you what I use. Here's my drinking water safe hose, which goes to the laundry bin over there. It has a quick disconnect up at the top and a shutoff valve so that I can turn it off and on from inside this room and I don't have to go over there. So we're going to quick disconnect. Alright, so this hose is just a dryer hose, or a washer hose, meant to connect, obviously, the hot water to a washer. And I snipped one end off, and here we go. So the other end goes into the... Now as we're waiting for this to get back up to temperature, we're at almost 211 degrees right now, so we're almost there. The boil is coming back. The instructions from JaDed is when you're using this, hot. When you're using this, you should be moving it or stirring the wort. And in the video with the JaDed Hydra, I did exactly that. I stirred the wort. So in this one, I'm going to be moving this up and down. And I'll get a view of that for you here, as well as the temperature up here. And we'll time it and see how long it takes with our groundwater here to get this down to about the same that the Grainfather chiller did. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to turn this water on. First thing, of course, you have to do is you have to turn off the burners because you don't want to be working against the burners here. So I'm going to turn off the electrical burners here, and then we're going to cool this thing down and see how long it takes. Now I'm wearing a protective glove just to grab this for the first time, but as soon as the cold water starts coming through here, it's going to cool down pretty quick. So I'm opening up here. I'm opening up my cold water and turning off the electricity here. There we go. And I'm going to go turn on the water, and as soon as that happens, we'll start counting down. I'm going to turn it on as high as I possibly can. So what you're seeing here now is very obviously sped up. What I'm doing is I'm agitating the wort, or in this case water, by moving the JaDed Scylla up and down. I'm not doing it extremely rapidly, but in the video it looks as if I am. You can see the numbers ticking off there up in the top right hand corner, and then just below that, that's the minutes and the seconds. So it's dropping pretty significantly. At 2 minutes in, we're already almost at 100 degrees from boiling, and the groundwater is at 56 degrees as I'm doing this. So less than 3 minutes in, we're already below 90 degrees, going down 82, 81. Again, I'm agitating the wort, which is something that JaDed suggests that you do. It's also a great way to introduce some oxygen into your fermentation, which is important pre-fermentation. You want oxygen so that the yeast can use it up. So a little bit over 4 minutes and we're into the 60s. I was shooting for 64 here and got that in about 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes exactly. And as soon as I walked away to go turn it off, it ran even a little bit lower, about to 63 degrees. So that was 5 minutes, 7.5 gallons. All right, so we successfully got it down to 63 degrees, which is pitchable. Now, one of the reasons why you might want to go with an immersion chiller rather than the counterflow chiller is how easy it is to clean. Now, I take it out, I rinse it off in the sink over there, and I'm done. I have messed up at least one batch of beer by accidentally leaving something in the counterflow chiller, which shot out into my next batch. Now, it's easy enough to prevent that through thorough cleaning, and I did clean, but it had gone a couple of weeks in between, and I had forgot to clean again before my next brew, and something dark shot into the beer and absolutely ruined it. So, if you have the Robobrew, the JaDed Scylla is an absolute no-brainer. Okay, build this right into your budget. So when you're buying the Robobrew, get one of these too. All right, I'm not being paid to say that. This is not. I bought this unit with money. So this is my chiller of choice. It was the JaDed Hydra, but the JaDed Hydra no longer fits, so I sold that one and bought this one, the one specifically made for these units. And again, it's very useful to have because of how easy it is to clean, because you're not going to clog this thing up. You can still cool your beer even if you clog your pump. And it's an absolute necessity for the Robobrew. Okay, you're going to save a lot of time on your brew day. So I'm going to empty this out now, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks where we're going to talk about my BrewBot. Cheers.